everyone, Artemir the Violet Wizard here, and today we are continuing Pokémon Emerald. Last time we invaded Team Aqua's base, but were unable to stop them from launching their plan of stealing a submarine in order to go after a legendary Pokemon. But we made our way to Moss Deep City, and after a pretty rough battle all things considered, we managed to earn our 7th gym badge. Only one more to go, and then we'll be able to finish up this leg of our journey. Today I just wanted to do some very casual stuff today, so mainly going to be exploring the oceans around this area and seeing what we're able to get thanks to our new HM, Dive. But because of this, I wanted just to address a thing involving the team. None of the Pokemon on my main team can actually learn Dive. Despite it being a water-type move, Shanty is incapable of learning it. So I went and caught another Whalmer, and I taught her Dive, just so that she would be able to help us out in these endeavors, because, yeah, this is a very important move for us, as it unlocks a lot of stuff out here in Hoenn's Oceans. So that's going to be the main focus of this part of our adventure, just going around and seeing what we're able to find. Thanks for that, Benjamin. That was something. But before we actually go diving, there is something that I said that I would do before the end of the last stream, and that was head back up here to Route 125. So, earlier today, I went back to the Shoal Cave in order to explore this place when the tide was high so I can access the areas where you can get shoal shells. And I went and got all the shoal shells I was able to get. So when you have 4 of both the shells and the salt, I want to talk to this old man here. Oh hey, shoal salt and shoal shells, and enough of them too. Would like me to make you a shell bell with them? Alrighty then, I'll make you a shell bell right away. There, done. Have a Pokemon hold on to that. You'll love it, that's for certain. Why, the shell bells chime. It's simply sublime. You get its ingredients every day, so I can make you more. This is a pretty helpful item, all things considered. If you make a Pokemon hold it, they will restore, I believe, 1/16 of the damage you deal to them, or the damage that you deal to the opponent at the end of your turn. So, it is a pretty good item, especially on tanky Pokemon. So I'll give that to Beetlejuice, because he could use some extra defense as we go through some stuff here. Yeah, that covers pretty much everything I wanted to show at the Shoal Cave. I did also grab a few items while the tide was up, but it was basically just a pearl and a rare candy, so that's everything that can be done at Shoal Cave. All in all, a very cool area here. Let's go deposit that focus band, and then we can actually get started on exploring things. That should be good. I also went and did a little bit of shopping before this session, grabbing some extra medicine and Pokeballs, just so that we'd be prepared for the stuff we're going to be doing. So whenever you see these dark patches of water on the routes, that is where your Pokemon are able to use Dive, allowing you to access a lot of different areas down here. Of course, this area doesn't really have anything for us, so kind of a false positive. Definitely want to go down this one, though. Because here, by examining this part, we can find a Pearl. There's definitely quite a few items you can get while diving. Mostly you'll be finding items like pearls, which you can sell, but there's some very good swag you're able to find here as well. Especially if you look for the very out-of-the-way dive spots. Thing's level 8. It's not worth the experience. And sometimes when you're diving underwater, you'll come across patches of seaweed. Pretty much these act the same as tall grass in other routes. You'll be able to encounter Pokemon on the seafloor by going through that seaweed. And there's definitely some good stuff you can find there. Some Pokemon are exclusive to the seafloor, so definitely watch out for any of those patches of seaweed so you can catch them. And of course, I'll definitely be going over them when I actually encounter them. And you'll definitely want to be diving because there is a certain Pokemon that will definitely want to catch for something later down the line. So right there, the item I picked up was a yellow shard. You were told about these much earlier and how they can be exchanged for evolution stones. You'll definitely want to pick these up because they are one of the few ways you're able to get evolution stones in the Hoenn region. My ear's really itchy right now, hold on. Alright, that's taken care of. Seriously, what is with the wild Pokemon right now? Just so low level. Give me the high stuff. Ooh, level 32. Now this one's actually worth something. But yeah, there are definitely a couple of dive points out here on Route 124. It's one of the main areas where you'll see dive spots on the ocean. Of course, there are several other routes that we'll definitely want to go exploring here before we actually continue with the story, because I'd like my team to get a few more levels before we progress. We could probably handle the battles ahead pretty easily, but I just want to show off what we're able to get at this time. That's just kind of been my theming for this playthrough, showing off as much content of the game as I can. Kind of thinking of other things to talk about right now. Nothing has really changed about my life so far. Mainly just been very busy with work these last couple of days. And I know on my last day off I wasn't able to get a stream done, but that was mainly because I hadn't finished up my artwork for Armstrong in his new evolved form, so I want to get that taken care of before actually continuing this series, and I'm quite pleased with the result I got. It's definitely very fun to work on. As you can see it popping up in my little slideshow that we have up there. Speaking of which, with my team, I thought up of a little nickname for this family that we assembled here in the Hoenn region. Haley's Comets. I don't know, I thought it was a cute name. This definitely has its charm to it. And you know, this area has meteorites and stuff, and Space Center, so I don't know, I felt it was very nice. Ooh, this area has a lot of seaweed here, and some good items. The green shard, definitely want to pick up there. And yeah, we have item finder equipped, good. Using the item finder when you're underwater can be very helpful. While we're here, why don't we try to encounter a Pokemon down here, because I don't know specifically which patches of seaweed have higher encounter rates for different Pokemon, but I'm pretty sure they aren't. But here is one Pokemon that we're able to find underwater, Clamperl. This thing is a pure water type. It's very defensive, and it only evolves under very special circumstances that we'll be covering later on. But yeah, it's a cute Pokemon. I like its design. And this Pokemon is actually tied into another species of Pokemon that we have previously seen. So you see the pink pearl in the center of Clamperl's body? that's the very same pearl that Spoink carry on their heads to focus their psychic powers. So it's very cool how they link these two Pokemon species together. It's very interesting. Let's see if we encounter one more thing here, because there's definitely a few more Pokemon we can find here. Okay. But yeah, I'll definitely be going over Clamperl's evolutions when we get to a certain point this stream, because we will be covering something related to Clamperl very shortly. Got level up on Harlequin, which is very nice. She's been putting in a lot of work lately, especially in the last gym, so I'm very proud of her. Oh, also I just remembered, there is a new challenge open to us at the Trickmaster's house, so definitely want to head back there sometime soon. So down over here in Route 124, we have another Sis and Bro team. It's always nice when you run into these double battles out here, because it's a battle format I really like. Leela and Roy, using Chinchou and Carvana. So Chinchou's another Pokemon you're able to find while diving. This thing is a water-electric type, making it fairly unique compared to other Pokemon we've seen on this adventure. Pretty much Chinchou's best stat is its HP. Its other stats are alright. And all in all, it's mainly just utilizing its very unique typing, which is good both offensively and defensively for battles. With its HP giving it a fair amount of bulk and it having so few weaknesses, it can definitely be a very helpful Pokemon. I would recommend picking it up. It's a very solid Pokemon if you're able to raise it. Especially because at the point you can catch them, you can easily get it evolved. So, bam, you got a very solid Pokemon on you there. If only it wasn't my little brother next to me, but a nice boyfriend. No comment about that. So I don't think I've been down this way. Now, checking around these die points can be very helpful. So we can get a heart scale there. It's another way we can be able to get one of those, which is very nice. And this area is specific on no, because it's a little bit of an underwater maze. Just want to navigate down here. Also, as a little touch I like here, the trail of bubbles that goes behind you when you're moving through the seaweed. Just a nice little attention to detail here. So over on this section, I believe there's an item we can get over here. If we can leave this Wingull alone, because I don't want the experience from this thing. It's kind of the way things are. Remember as a kid, I would, never run away from battles just because of, if I don't fight them, then I don't get any experience and I don't get stronger. But sometimes it is best just to run away from certain fights if they don't really give you anything worthwhile. So we got a red shard there, which is very good. If we check our inventory now, that should give us almost all the shards. There is one more color we have yet to find, which we will be seeing very shortly. Now, it would be nice navigating this area if I could run into one other thing here, because there's a Pokemon I definitely want to find down here, because it is integral to something we'll be doing much later on in this adventure. But it's also very rare, so our chances of actually running into it are very low. Let's dive here and see what we're able to get. Looks like there's nothing for us here. Alright. Maybe there's something for us if we go this way. Okay, I think that's mainly just to show that there's something over there we can get. Oh yeah, we've been over this way before. It's actually very close to the Shard Trader's house, so why don't we go pay him a visit, now that we got these items. just run into another battle, sure. I don't want to fight you, Tentacool. You're a good Pokemon, I'm just very sick of seeing you because you're all over the oceans. Oh, I don't think we went down here yet. Alright, so let's take a dive here. Also, I don't think I fought that trainer yet, so we'll check him out soon. Alright, that's a decent level. Thunderbolt you. That's good. And we will take another dive. There's nothing there, but we can see that there's something over there. Well, that might be the area we were in earlier. You're spelling the sea like this, trainers challenge you. That's right. So speaking of underwater stuff and diving, I've been watching some more BoJack Horseman on Netflix, and oh boy, I'm making my way through season 3 right now, and there was actually an episode set underwater, and just very cool. So, in the BoJack Horseman universe, pretty much a world where, like, anthropomorphic animals live alongside humans as equals, for the most part. But yeah, what they do of having this underwater world filled with all these humanoid sea creatures and like the various cultures and cities that they have underwater is just really cool, and I really love the touches they make in that episode. And of course, because it's underwater and stuff, it's like a very silent thing where you don't hear anybody talk. Until the very end of the episode, but it's for very funny reasons. And yeah, it was just such a tremendous episode, I really loved it. Down here, I think if we go up this way, there's something for us. Alright, this might be the one area I was thinking of going. I just got another dive spot over here. So got a bunch of areas connecting into one another for these dive spots, which is fairly cool. And over here, another green shard. Actually, forgot if you could get more than one of those through this. But yeah, there's more than one, so I'll definitely be able to pick up a few. Of course, getting all these shards is mainly so that you have the resources necessary for getting your Pokédex filled up, because there are Pokemon that evolve through these evolution stones. And normally you can only obtain one of these stones in the wild, so getting more by finding the shards and trading them to the one NPC is a good way of getting those items you need for evolutions. Alright, let's head back this way. I don't think I fought this guy yet. I dive deep in the water to go deep undercover. Plumbing the depths is where I excel. Good for you, buddy. So Chad here's got a Tentacool. The same thing we've been seeing over and over again. It does kind of show how limited the Hoenn Pokédex is. I mean, there's over 200 Pokemon to find in this game, so it's not that limited, but like with current game standards, you can kind of see how limited things can be. Especially compared to later games, and especially in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, because in a certain event very close into the game, and you'll eventually get to a point where you'll be able to encounter Pokemon not normally found in the Hoenn region in the remakes, which is very cool. I like that change they did into the game. and where you don't actually have to beat the main story in order to get access to all these different Pokemon. It's very cool and definitely adds to the overall experience, I feel. Again, I really do like Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire and think they're a little underappreciated. Alright, so we're right by here. We didn't get that one item I was hoping we'd get, but it's fine. We'll give you a red shard here, and that will get us a Firestone. We'll trade this yellow shard to get a Thunderstone, and then our two green shards, probably guess what they get us. Oh, our inventory's full, huh? Yeah, we have been gathering a lot of stuff, haven't we? And it's actually the first time in this playthrough I've actually filled up my main inventory, so... yeah, we're gonna have to dump out a bunch of crap. And also sell some stuff. Let's put that away, that away, and that away. Then we'll sell these and trade those green shards in. Yeah, another thing about the older generations I definitely don't miss is the limited inventory slots. I mean, Emerald has a better inventory than Ruby and Sapphire does, where you can only fit like 20 items in the original inventory. But this is still very limited. Like, this is all the items we have in the box. Box is already full. Like, come on. But yeah, by Gen 4, the inventory is not so limited, and you're pretty much able to have as many items as you want, which is good. Definitely like the change they made there. See, not all future Pokemon games are terrible. Oh, there's another heart scale there. Good. Alright, we'll head back to the diver's house to trade those green shards in. Then I think we will actually get through this, please. Alright, so we got some leaf stones from that, which is fairly good. We can definitely catch a lot of oddish in this region, so that's good for that. Another thing I like to say about diving is that in the remakes, there's actually a unique trainer class unique to the diving locations. And, of course, they're divers. And, of course, they will typically use water-type Pokemon, usually the ones found by diving or fishing. And yeah, it's pretty cool just having a unique trainer class for this specific part of the region. I don't even think the divers return for like any other games too. So Dive is a fairly unique HM overall because it only appears in a couple games. Of course, it was introduced here in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And it doesn't pop up again until Gen 5. And even then it was only for like one area that was mainly just to gather items to sell and stuff like that. And the only other time Dive would pop up significantly is Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, so... yeah, it remains a TM in later games, and it's fairly decent in battle overall. Basically a water-type version of Dig, so it does have its uses, just not so much as other moves, which is why it's not really used all that much. this lovely pair here. Let's head down here, because we got a new route, 126. So this area is kind of like a boxed-in portion of the ocean, mainly to connect two of the ocean routes together, but also has something very significant about this place. Not only does it have dive spots, but those dive spots connect to a very important area that we'll be getting into very soon. Wow, these two have like the exact same team as the trainers that we just fought. What the heck? Well, that's something. Alright, we took out Isabelle and Leonardo. Sheesh, getting greedy didn't do a thing for me. Practice is something, you'll get better at it. Oh, that's not a good feeling when you accidentally swallow some seawater when you're swimming. Ugh. Luckily, I haven't had that happen to me all too often. So there are dive spots out here on this route, but I'm going to be saving those until after I cleared out the trainers on the surface. Just because there are quite a few trainers up here that I want to take out before we get into the other stuff that can be done here. Sure, we'll take out this tentacle. It's decently leveled, should give some good experience. Very nice. Kind of weird sending my rock type out here right now, but I don't know, he should be fine. Like, the Pokemon we're countering out here are pretty low level, so we shouldn't have too much trouble. I'm throwing my whole heart into this. Wow, the whole one. Check out that sculpted bod. I'm more cut than a black belt. Hey, swimming does require a lot of muscle work, so that's not inaccurate. Sienna and Pablo. Alright, this shouldn't be that bad. I mean, it's a Staryu and a Love Disc. This really isn't that much trouble for us. So what's some other stuff to talk about? Not too much has really changed. I've been steadily making more progress in Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition, which is always good, because I love that game so frickin' much. And I just got to Magma Forest, which is just such a great area, especially because we get two very good party members in that area, so very much looking forward to that. But on some other stuff. Haven't really been playing anything else new lately. So while I was getting... so earlier today I actually bought Among Us from the Steam store. While I was there, I did notice that Final Fantasy IV was on sale for quite a bit, and that's definitely a game I want to pick up eventually. So I believe it's actually a port of the DS version of the game. And that'd be fairly interesting to play, considering the things I've heard about that game. I've definitely seen other versions of the game played, but like the DS version is pretty interesting with the whole presentation of things and how it actually changes some stuff from the base game. It's definitely something that I would feel about streaming someday, but only after I've actually played the game for myself and actually know a bit about what I'm doing. Because I cannot see myself streaming that game blind. I mean, playing a Final Fantasy VII after several years of not playing it have been already interesting enough for this channel. There's definitely some stuff I'd be looking forward to doing eventually. Triathlete Pablo's a trainer you can register on the Pokémon app. Definitely pick him up. Yeah, go for a dive, lady. It's so refreshing to be in the waves. There's another dive spot there. Actually, because this one seems a little remote compared to the other dive areas. Yeah, let's head down here and see what we can get. Oh, looks like there's an item down there. Very good. I'm so nervous down here because I know there is one thing I really want to encounter while diving. And yet this thing is so rare that I'm probably not going to run into it this stream, even though, like, the bulk of the content I'm going to be doing for the next hour and a half is going to be diving, so I don't know. And there we get a blue shard, the last of the colored shard items. Probably guess what that item will eventually become when you trade it in to the treasure hunter. And over here you notice there's this big mountain of stone in the middle of the ocean here. That'll be related to something coming up relatively soon. Swimmer Berry! Ooh, and he's packing a Gyarados. It's always good to see, because Gyarados is a solid Pokemon. I'm not expecting too much trouble from this thing, so let's go for Rock Tomb. Alright, good damage. We were a little weakened from the Intimidate, but we should still be good. Oh, that's something I didn't want to see. So Dragon Rage is kind of a remote move, but it has an interesting effect. Dragon Rage is a set damage move. It will always deal 40 damage, so it can be good for cutting through Pokemon that have really high defenses, and for dealing with Pokemon that don't have a lot of HP. Otherwise, I wouldn't really recommend it too much. It's definitely good early on when Pokemon don't have a whole lot of HP, but later on in the adventure, it slowly loses its luster. Hey, but is he the guy I just fought, or... Come back here, buddy. That was weird. Usually you don't see them refresh there. So over there is Route 127, which we'll be visiting very shortly. Oh, I'm a mermaid. Are you now? Hey, you liar! You're no mermaid. Hell, we're not gonna get a mermaid Pokemon until Gen 7! Speaking of which, it's actually one of my favorite Pokemon. It also helps that as a kid I actually designed a mermaid Pokemon myself, and... I know. Probably draw it for DeviantArt at some time. I don't know, it's been a while since I've actually posted anything about my own Pokemon designs on DeviantArt. Guess I could do it sometime, but... I don't know, mainly just focusing on other projects right now. Because I know one thing that I'm planning on doing very soon is I want to sketch out some of my favorite moments from this Pokemon's musical. No, not Bayonetta. Just want to sketch out some scenes from the Beetlejuice musical, because, man, it's a very funny show, and I just really have been inspired lately to do something involving that, because it's been very fun, and it could give me a lot of good inspiration. This towering right mountain of rock is the top of the city. Is it now? I just thought it was a huge lump of rock. So Dean here's got a Kurton, huh? Nothing we haven't already seen already. So I guess we'll take you out. speaking of art and musical stuff, I'm also working on some little shop content at the moment. Actually getting pretty good progress done on this image, hoping to get it on my DA very soon this week. In fact, I could probably finish it up tonight, depending on how things go. There is down. It's got Wingull to take out. I think we'll just finish you with Ice Beam. So we haven't had too much use for Shanty's Ice Beam of late. I mainly taught it to her so we have a solid counter for Winona's Altaria. But fairly soon in this adventure we will have a use for Ice Beam again. It will be a very instrumental move for getting past some very dangerous opponents. So I think we are pretty close to taking out all the guys here. Can I take a drink of apple juice without spilling condensation on myself? Jeez. Alright, I think that deals with pretty much all the trainers in this area. So, why don't we go take a dive here? So we were told that Satopolis City is here in this area, but there doesn't seem to be a way into it that we could see from outside in the open sea. But perhaps if we go diving, we could find such an entrance. Yeah, again, just talking about great set pieces to this region that really stood things out. Having to actually dive underwater just to get to one of the major areas in the game is a really cool idea. We'll be exploring a little bit more about 126 fairly soon, but I just want to show here. By going into that cave, we have the spot where we can dive back up. Welcome to Satopolis City, one of the last locations in our Pokemon journey. Satopolis City Pokemon Gym, leader Hoenn, the gym leader with the beauty of pure water. Although I hear some call him Johnny. So, our final gym, let's go challenge it. The door's closed. Shit! So yeah, we can't actually challenge the final gym leader at this point. We're gonna have to wait until the story plays out before we actually have access to this area. But for now, let's just explore the sights around Satopolis. And also for the record, you don't have to go to Satopolis City right away in order to continue the story. This area will be important for much later, but you're not required to go here at this time. Satopolis' gym leader's really lovably admirable, but that also means I have many rivals for his attention. He's got a peel with a double edge. I couldn't even catch his eye. Please, let me teach your Pokemon the move Double Edge. This is pretty much a stronger, more accurate version of Takedown. It's a powerful move, but your Pokemon will also take recoil damage, which works very well for Armstrong. Oh, even you reject me. I will be giving that move to him much later on, but only after we've run out of uses for strength on our main team, which we're actually gonna be pretty close to that eventually. Whenever, wherever, and whatever happens, I'll always be friends with Pokemon, because it's fun to be with Pokemon. Yeah, if only other people nowadays could feel the same way. Wallace is rumored to be the toughest trainer in the whole Hoenn region. This town's gym is led by the trainer who taught Wallace, while the Elite Four, they're said to be even stronger than Wallace's mentor. How strong could they be? I don't know, pretty strong. Let's put away these leaf stones, and got some items we can sell and trade. It shouldn't be too hard to find a shop here in this town. But yeah, this area is pretty cool. Satopolis sprang up as a town in the crater of a volcano. If you look up at the sky, the lip of the crater is also visible. So all you see is the sky in a circle. That's That's what makes the sky above Satopolis the most beautiful. Kinda like Colony 9. Fairly interesting. When I was young, I traveled the world as a Pokemon trainer. Now that I've become an old buzzard, my only amusement's watching young trainers battle. There's no way for us to go through there. Hello, you're our first guest in a good while. You're brighten up my day, so I'll give you a big Wilmer doll. Take good care of it. This is a fairly unique decoration for secret bases. You can also actually put it in your room back in Lower Town, but it's not something we've been focusing on. Do you know the Pokemon Lotad? It's rarely seen in Satopolis. I love big Lotad. My big brother says that Seedot's bigger. But that's wrong. Everyone knows that Lotad's a lot bigger. Huh? You have a Lotad? Please show me. I do not. Don't you have a big Lotad? How disappointing. If you get a big Lotad, please come show me. You know the Pokemon Seedot? It's hardly ever seen in Satopolis. Anyway, I love big Seedot. The bigger the better. My younger brother, he says that Lotad's bigger. That's silly. Seedot has to be bigger than that. You have a Seedot with you? Please show me. So I don't think you actually get any rewards from these guys, as far as I know. So it's not important to us. Diving in the sea, climbing up and down stairs all the time. If you live in this town, you end up getting physically fit. That's fairly nice. Listen up, and I'll tell you something good. It's supposed to be an ancient ruin in the sea around here. There could be treasures just waiting to be discovered down there. Ancient treasures? It'd be nice if they existed, but even if they didn't, it'd be so beautiful to take an underwater stroll with my Pokemon. I can vouch for that. It's very nice. I've never been out of this city. Wonder what the world's like on the other side of this round sky. Again, reminds me a lot of Colony 9. Mount Pyre. At its peak are two orbs placed side by side, did you know? Yes, we did. Yes, two orbs side by side. The sight of them together, it's somehow soothing. Yeah, I really like the look of Satopolis City overall. It's a very big area, and just has a lot of unique set pieces that we haven't seen anywhere else in the region. Like with the way the trees are, the way the buildings are shaped, and just the, what's that, marble-like white rock? It's very cool. Hi, what's your name? Okay, that's nice. My name is Kiri. Oh, you're one of my OCs, the Mantis Girl, I believe. My mommy and daddy named me that so I would grow healthy and warm-hearted. I named you that because it's part of the Japanese word for mantis. That's what they wished. You can have one of these. So Kiri here is one of the NPCs that can give you berries once a day. Kiri will give you this berry too. I really like it lots. You get an Ayapapa berry from that. Well, what kind of wish is included in your name? So yeah, definitely want to visit her once a day to grab berries. So here we visit the mart. We should be able to sell some stuff. Man, we're just swimming in money now. Now that I don't have to waste money buying TMs, it's been very good. So of course in this area you can buy a lot of good stuff, including max potions. We'll be probably picking these up much later on, but for the time being, just a hyper potion will do it for our team. That Shadow Mail looks really cool. But yeah, there's some good items here if you need them. PP up is great! Raise the power points, the PP of a Pokemon move. Do you know Full Restore? Full restoration of HP, eradication of all status problems. It's truly an item of your dreams. Yeah, I can't wait till I get to the point where I can buy that. Still quite a ways away. The cave that links Satopolis and the outside world. It seems that the cave was made to keep something from getting out. Or am I just imagining things? An underwater volcano erupted and forced itself up from the depths. Its crater emerged from the sea and became filled with rainwater. That's how Satopolis City came into being. Another reason why I really like Satopolis City, it has such great lore behind it, and kind of spoilers for this area is going to be very significant to the story eventually. appears to be some connection between Satopolis and Mount Pyre. My friends and I did some research on it at the lab where I used to work. My big brother used to study the sea. I see. You're a Pokemon trainer, aren't you? Satopolis' Juan has many fans, even more than his student Wallace. Do you have any? I assume I have a few. I mean, I have 19 followers. Oh, then you must be pretty strong. Dedicated fans come over from even outside of Hoenn. It's really wild when it went to the trainer fan club in Lily Cove. Perhaps we could visit that location later on our adventure. For 30 years I've remained at Satopolis honing my skills. I developed a shattering TM. I bequeath it to you. TM31 is definitely a move you want to pick up. TM31 contains Brick Break. It's a move so horrible that I can't describe it. Maybe not, but it's my job to describe it. Brick Break is one of the best coverage moves you can get here in this game. It's a fighting type move, 75 base power, so it's very useful. And it also has the added effect of being able to destroy, reflect, and light screen, making it very good for dealing with enemies who go for those defensive tactics. And it's kind of hard to see with my current team configuration, but Brick Break is an excellent coverage move because so many Pokemon are able to learn this move, not just fighting types, as can be seen here with Armstrong. This is definitely a move I can recommend giving to your Pokemon, especially if you're using a fighting type. Although it is kind of awkward because a lot of fighting types in this game tend to carry fighting type moves that are stronger than Brick Break. But I can still see it being useful on your team just because of the utility it carries. It's a very good move. You come all the way to Satopolis? You're no ordinary tourist. But I suppose it doesn't make you an extraordinary tourist either. How dare. And this is our last stop here in Satopolis. Who might you be? This is the Cave of Origin. The spirits of Pokemon becalmed at Mount Pyre are said to be revived here. Please leave. Well, sure. I guess I will. Luckily, I can just quickly warp back to the Pokemon Center by using Fly. So yeah, that's pretty much everything we can see here in Satopolis City for the time being. Just another thing about this area I'd like to note is that the only Pokemon that can be caught here are ones fished up, and it's just Magikarp and Gyarados. Nothing really that special. But yeah, that's everything to do in Satopolis for the time being, so let's keep looking around here in the ocean, see if we can run into that one thing I really want to find, while we just go around looking for items. Definitely don't want to do anything with you here. It's kind of a little awkward using a Pelipper down here when most of the Pokemon we can find here are part electric. Well, looks like there's an item over there. Yeah, I can see the spot where the item is located. I think if we go up here, we could actually cut across the ocean and... No, it seems like it's an area that's close off to us right now. Maybe if we go over here... Head up here, there's this area that's a little secluded from everything else. Yep, we can go over this way and we come into this spot on the route. Again, there's just so much to explore in this area, and it's just great. Sure, a lot of the landscape is very similar to stuff we've already seen, but come on, there's a lot of stuff you can find down here. It's not just for nothing. There's trainers to fight, there's items to gather, a few cool set pieces to find. Like, the oceans of Hoenn aren't that empty. I know it's a very major complaint about this generation, is that just so much of the route is covered in water, and a lot of stuff looks very samey, but there's still stuff to do in this area, even if they're not all that remarkable. Alright, got a much needed level up on Shanty there. Thank you, Red Dead. Oh no! I love frolicking with Pokemon in the sea like this. Yeah, it'd be pretty fun. Just imagine being in the water, surrounded by Pokemon. So cool. I said it before, but water-type Pokemon are my favorites. We dive in this spot that's secluded from everywhere else on the route. We're able to get an iron. Very good. Can also grab a pearl, which can be sold for money. Very good. And up here, a yellow shard, which can be exchanged for a thunderstone. That is very good as well. Another clamp pearl. That's okay. I mean, there's other stuff I want to find down here. It's not like there's something I really want to encounter. So, my plan for the future, if we're not capable of running into the specific Pokemon during the stream, I might make it a point of searching for it in between streams, just so that I have the opportunity to actually catch it, because it will be important to something for us later on in this adventure. Let's grab a heart scale there, which is very nice, because it's kind of placed away from like everything else in this area. Right, we've already been down there, so let's head up this way. Here, heading down into this little crevice, we get an Ultra Ball. It's very good to have here. Maybe we can buy them very easily now, but it's still nice to get one for free. Don't think there's anything here we need. Don't think this is really connected to anything. Nope, it's just another part of this route. Okay. Let's go over this way and see what else we get. Alright, we've made a full loop around this area. That's very nice. I may look around a little bit down here, and then we're probably gonna call it for Route 126, because we've pretty much seen everything that can be found here. Okay, yeah, we've made a full lap around this area. Alright, so let's head back to the treasure hunter, trade in our shards that we've gathered over here, and then we'll be able to make a little bit more progress in showing off what we can see with Dive. Tentacle, could you please depart? And as we're on our way to the treasure hunter, in terms of other stuff I wanted to talk about, there's actually another thing that I've been watching recently that quickly been growing some positive thoughts about. So many years ago, there was a show on TV called Clone High, and it's kind of seen a bit of a resurgence in recent years, especially in 2020, because it seems like you can't go like anywhere without running into a Clone High meme. And yeah, it's just a really funny show. I really like it a lot. Just the concept of the show is really cool, where you have a high school old drama setting, but it's filled with clones of famous historical figures. So you got Abraham Lincoln trying to get with Cleopatra. You got these love triangle shenanigans. And you also got Gandhi, who's just this party animal. The stereotype is just very fun. Just, man, the show is so good in how it presents these characters and their stories, and God, it is just a blast. I'm really loving the show, and I can't wait to watch more of it, because it's just so damn good. So before we explore more of the oceans in this section of Hoenn, I wanted to head back over this way on the western side of Hoenn, because there's something we're able to do over here that we couldn't do until we got Dive. And I want to go take care of that now before we continue on with the story. Because Route 127 will be leading to some actual plot areas. Let's put away that Heart Scale and Thunderstone. Put away Waterstone. And let's use that Iron. Definitely see that being used on someone. Shanty is a fairly defensive Pokemon, so she could use one of those. And let's heal up so that we're prepared for the road ahead. Hey buddy, what's the new trendy saying? Listen, have you heard about this new Busy Complete? That's right, of course you know. I mean, sheesh, Busy Complete. It's the hottest thing and cool. Wherever you're from, Busy Complete is the biggest happening thing, right? Sure it is. Yeah, absolutely right. Busy Complete's the definition of in right now. Never change, buddy. Again, just the trends are always changing here on Dewford Island. For better or for worse. I mean, it does lead to some excellent things. I mean, it's kind of a inside joke with me that now one of the things I actually got to spawn from the trendy saying is the phrase excellent word. And that's just stuck with me for quite a while now. Just really love that saying, excellent word. So, out here, in the middle of Route 108, I returned to the abandoned ship. Much earlier on in our adventure, we were told by someone stationed here in order to pick up a scanner for him. But while we were exploring this area, we couldn't find a scanner. However, if we go into this room here, there's a dive point here, which will take us deeper into the ship. And through here, there is a whole new section of the ship that we couldn't get to before. The door's locked. Room 1 is painted on the door. So we got these areas with a bunch of locked doors. Not all of them are locked though. Did you see that? The Room 1 key. So a lot of this area is trying to explore this area and see what items you can get. So there we actually got a legit water stone without having to trade a shard for it. Water stones are of course an evolution stone and they can be very darn useful. In this game you can use water stones to evolve Ovalombre into Ludicolo, or you could evolve Staryu into Starmie. They're all excellent Pokemon, so definitely go for that. And picking up there is TM18 Rain Dance. That will allow your Pokemon to just summon rain whenever you want, which is very good. Room 6 is painted on the door. If you go in here, you can see the path is blocked to us, but there were several items that we could see. So let's use the Room 4 key here. You can see there's a bunch of other items here. In the trash can, there's the Room 6 key. But I wonder if there's anything else for us here. Bright shiny, it's just trash. Just trash. Okay. So we'll head into Room 6. want to check the area where we saw the shiny things in order to actually think if we use our item finder, this will help us find the item we need. There, the room 2 key. And I think that's all the items that can be found there. Yep. I believe I don't actually go over that item we just found here. Yeah, Luxury Ball. This is a pretty remote item to get. If you catch a Pokemon with a Luxury Ball, they will have a significant boost to whatever friendship points they get. So it's very good for using that to catch Pokemon that evolve through friendship, like Golbat. But here in the last room in this area, we get the scanner. Now that we have our scanner in hand, let's go find that worker. And with that, we have seen everything we can on the abandoned ship. Of course, the area that replaces it in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire has a lot more stuff going for it, especially when you unlock the ability to dive. Give you access to a lot more rooms, the ability to capture some exclusive Pokemon, looking at you, Spiritomb, and also get some very good items. One thing I don't like, however, is that you need to have the Dive HM in order to get the Ice Beam TM in that game, which, I get it, Ice Beam is a very good move, and I understand keeping it hidden until much later on in the game, so you don't steamroll through some other fights. I mean, we saw how easily it was able to get rid of Winona's Altaria, but still. Oh, that's a scanner! Listen, can I get you to deliver that to Captain Stern? I want to investigate the ship a little more. So we got ourselves another step in this mission. We need to go find Captain Stern and deliver the scanner to him. Luckily, we know where he tends to hang out, so it shouldn't be too bad. So where we want to go to next is, let's head to Slateport City. And I believe we want to go to the harbor. Oh, Haley, that item you have! That's a scanner! That would sure help us on our explorations. Haley, would you trade your scanner for something? Like, say, a deep sea tube for a deep sea scale that I have. Definitely want to consider these items carefully. I'm gonna grab the deep sea scale. So, you're traded for my deep sea scale. Thanks, Haley. This will help our research a lot. So the two items that Captain Stern is able to give you for completing that quest, the Deep Sea Tooth and the Deep Sea Scale, are held items that raise the stats of Clamperl. But if Clamperl is traded while it's holding these items, then Clamperl will evolve into one of two Pokemon. The Deep Sea Tooth will result in it evolving into Huntail, which is a physical attacker, while the Deep Sea Scale will make it evolve into Gorbis, which is a special attacker. Between the two, especially in this generation, I would recommend Gorbis over Huntail. Just because Gorbis, with its special attack, is able to utilize its stab moves much more effectively, and also get some pretty interesting TM moves as well. But of course, this requires actually having a trade partner in order to get them, and yeah, I am incapable of doing that in this game. It's also kind of disappointing because I'm pretty sure there aren't any trainers in the game that actually use Huntail and Gorbis. So even if you're looking to get them seen in the Pokedex but not caught, you're kind of out of luck. You have to actually catch a Clamperl and do this quest in order to evolve it into a Huntail and Gorbis, then go out of your way to trade an aid with someone else to get the other one. It's kind of annoying. Future games make it much more easier in order to get Clamperl in its evolution, so that is definitely something. So for now, I want to head back to Mosskeep City so that we continue our adventure out in the open sea. Yeah, I'd say our team is fairly good right now. Okay, Tentacle, could you just not? Down here in Route 127, pretty much more the same of the previous routes. But one thing I will say about this area is that while it does have dive spots, you're not likely to run into any seaweed in this area, so there aren't any diving Pokemon to get in this area, which is kind of disappointing. But over here you get a Zinc, which is good. So let's use that on... I guess Armstrong could use more special defense. He's more of a physical tank, but that could be helpful if he gets hit by a random coverage move, as he tends to. There we got an item protected by 2 trainers. Let's surf down there and grab it. Bird Pokemon have excellent vision. They spot prey from great heights. We should have a slow and methodical match. I don't know. I know a lot of people who play with the mentality of slow, bad, must do everything fast. I'm not naming any names here. It's just a thing that happens. Okay, let's use Thunderbolt on that Swellow, and then let's switch Harlequin out for Alexa. I think that's a good call here. Yeah, because I don't want Harlequin to get hit by a flying type move here. Alright, we're able to get past the double team and score a critical hit on Swellow. Very good work, Beetlejuice. And next, Aiden's got a Skarmory. That's fairly nice, but with our current team setup, we should still be able to handle it. We'll go with Shadow Ball and Magnetric, and then we'll Thunderbolt the Skarmory. That should take care of him very easily. I'm very annoyed with this thing just paralyzing both my Pokemon. You jerk! I mean, I have healing items, but it's still kind of tedious. Alright, what's your last Pokemon? Lanoon. Okay, not bad. Let's see here. Yeah, let's go for a Psychic and then Thunderbolt. I give up. You didn't give me the chance to do any strategizing. Sorry, I just really don't care. Nice, these two need to be cured of their status ailments. Do I have any berries that can help with that? No, I don't. I do have full heals and cookies, but I don't know, I guess my team deserved cookies considering everything we've been through. They've definitely been pulling their weight. I guess they could deserve cookies later. Something else I'd like to note about this is that I still have my Wailmer back at the daycare, mainly so that they can leech experience by us just walking around. I do intend to get my Wailmer trained up, so that'll be helpful for something later on. Hey there, it's Benjamin. You taking it casually? Ever since I was a kid, you know, I've always been placing, huh? Oh, did we get the exact same phone call in the exact same stream session? Go away, Benjamin! I don't want to hear it! Yeah, unfortunately, the match call trainers only have so many phrases they can say, which is a little disappointing, but whatever. Alright, we'll have Harlequin in the front here to deal with some threats. Leave over this way is Route 126, of course. Just want to be over here. So I will be diving in this area fairly soon. I just want to take care of everything we can do on the surface before we actually go underwater. Because there are some items we can grab in this area. And we'll be able to take care of that very soon. Away, you. Do you have a rival whom you just hate to lose against? Yeah, his name is Brendan, and he can suck it. He's not beating me anymore because I got a grass type on my team. Say hello to her. Her name's Harlequin. She likes long walks in the desert. She likes sticking things with her needles. Yeah, just kind of a thing about this route that I've said about plenty of other areas is that battles here really aren't all that special unless you're fighting like the cool trainers in this area, because pretty much everyone in the water is using the exact same Pokemon we've already fought before. Nothing all that special. Route 128. We've been working so hard to mount a Pokemon League challenge. We can't afford to lose now. Speaking of cool trainers, looks like we got another one. So maybe you'll be able to provide an actual challenge. Oh, you have a Gloom. Never mind. Harlequin, kill it like the rest. So we're going to be ducking out of Route 128 very soon, but I will note that this area is important to the plot. We'll be back here very soon to continue the story. Did you have to use a full restore on your Gloom? You're being very annoying right now. Let's take you down. At least Harlequin's not going to take a lot of damage from that acid. Gloom being a not fully evolved Pokemon and also being much lower level than Harlequin, definitely not doing it any favors. Azumarill, we should be able to have an easy time with, though. So I don't know if we actually ran into one of these before, but Azumarill is the evolution of Meryl, which you can get these things very easily early on, because it's only a level 18 evolution. But yeah, overall, Azumarill is a decent defensive Pokemon. Very high HP and defenses, though its offensive stats are a little below average. Unless your Azumarill is packing the huge power ability, which basically doubles its attack stat, making it actually pretty good in battle. At least in generations where it can actually use its stab moves more effectively. But yeah, in this game, it's a little on the okay side, all things considered. I definitely use them in a lot of teams. It's definitely a Pokemon I can recommend. It's just a little tricky to recommend it outside of the generations when it really gets good. Anyway, let's leave this route and see what else we can find on Route 127. So this area definitely has some good stuff for us. Mainly on this side of the route. Kind of a secluded area away from everything. You got a black belt here. Put in your bare feet, that will toughen up your souls. I mean, you're not wrong. After all, the hardest skin on our body is on our feet. The bottom of the feet, that is. We definitely don't want to be out against the Sping. Macho is very hurty. Beetlejuice should have an easy time with this guy. Unless this thing uses Foresight. But we should still be fine, because Psychic should be able to take this thing out. There you go. Even got a crit. Thank you, Beetlejuice. You really are the ghost with the most. Oh, and there's the Shell Bell in action, restoring a little bit of HP based on the damage we dealt to the enemy. Ouch, I got a pebble under a toenail! And that's why you wear shoes. This is what I do to people who beat me. I hope we can do this again. Black Belt Kochi is another trainer we can register in the Poké now. Fairly good. We can see there's a secluded diving spot over here. Obviously, we're going to be diving here. You can see over this way, it connects to this spot. Which leads us here. A Carbos. That's good, being able to boost the speed of one of our Pokemon. Harlequin's a little on the slower side, so she could definitely benefit from that. So I don't think there's anything else for this area. I'm gonna quickly check, just to make sure. Yeah, while I'm kind of lost of things to say, I guess I can say that I'm looking forward to stuff coming up this week. Not so much, because I have a very busy schedule ahead of me, but in the short term, I do have another day off tomorrow, so I can try to get another stream session in tomorrow, especially because I don't have any other stream-related artwork to get done, so that's good. At the very least, I have that covered. And besides doing another stream, there's still, like, my other personal art projects I want to get done. That'll be very fun for me, especially with my current interests and whatnot. I can see in your face, you want to challenge me. It's definitely been some stuff I've been considering doing, especially because I've been feeling like I've been neglecting a few of my characters. Especially some of my more recent ones that I've been very much into, but just haven't had much motivation to actually do things with them for the time being. But yeah, they'll be, eventually, I'll be getting more content with them. Especially in more recent time, because it's almost October, which is one of my favorite months, just because it's a good time for us here up in Canada. Not only, of course, do we get Halloween, but we also get Thanksgiving, and I'm very much looking forward to that. It's probably not going to be too crazy this year because of things that are going on, but I don't know, I just still really love the atmosphere of October. It's a good month. That guy taken care of. And up here, there should be quite a few things for us to see. Through fishing, I've attained a state of calm serenity. Please allow me to demonstrate. I don't know, man, if there's anything I learned. Really? He's a fisherman named Jonah. And he uses a whale. That has gotta be intentional. Also, now that's just making me think of the VeggieTales movie. I I actually did have that movie in as a kid, and I would watch it quite a bit. I don't know, I really liked it. It was funny. Take out this tentacle here. You're just kind of there. We fought plenty of these things already. There's really not much else for me to say. Oh, this guy we haven't seen too much of. Sharpedo! At least that's something that we haven't fought in a while. Though I've lost, my heart remains calm. Okay, matters not that I catch nothing, the line remains in the water. Something that tells me this guy's one of those people that internalizes their rage. Whoops, don't tell me I snagged a surfing Pokemon! Nope, I wasn't even in the water. What you got, buddy? Fisherman Henry here. He's got a Carvana. Come on, after I just fought a Sharpedo? Again, later generations are much better at distributing Pokemon among trainers. But we do see this guy's got a Tentacruel. At least that's good. Again, we're seeing some fully evolved water types here, which is always good for me, considering that water's my favorite type, and I like a lot of these Pokemon. I can't keep up. I mean, you're dealing with a Magnetric, of course you're not going to keep up. It'd be a handful if I hooked your tough Pokemon. I agree. And looks like I've got one more train over here to deal with. Well, hey, this is a match between a Pokemon fan and a fishing buff. Please don't refer to yourself as buff. Given your physique, I don't know. Roger. Now look at this, he's got a Magikarp, and it's weak. I wonder what else this guy's gonna have on his team. Another Magikarp, and it's still pretty weak. You can probably guess what his final Pokemon's gonna be. Oh, that's a surprise. He actually got a Gyarados. No, my line's all tangled. The party's over. My fishing line's doing a dance. The Tangle Tango. Speaking of Magikarp, since we just fought a few of them, anyone remember that one Magikarp game on the phones? It was pretty fun, all things considered. It's very cute just imagining there being a Magikarp-themed game and all that. This is another area you want to dive in, because it's secluded from everything else. You can see here there is kind of an ocean trench here. When you're in these trenches like these, definitely check for these lone rocks, because you can find some items there. And also use your item finder. I believe that's everything we could find around here. Yep. We just avoid these guys for now so I can explore the rest of this route. Yeah, I'm getting a little tired right now, so we might be calling things a little earlier than my usual schedule here. For at least, let's see the rest of the stuff we can find on Route 127, and then we can call things. As Don't have too much of this area. Yeah, this leads back up to Mossy. So the only thing left for us is to explore the main diving areas here. So in here in Route 127, we just got a very big underwater trench here. Not a whole lot to see, honestly. I mean, I do like the purple colors in this area. Again, just kind of here. It's very sparse of content down here. Not so much in the remakes, because at least in the remakes they do add some divers down here that can get you some good experience. Time being, this area is just kind of basic. On the plus side, you don't have to worry about running into wild Pokemon down here. So if you want to avoid battles, this can be a nice way of getting through Route 127 without having to deal with constantly skipping on in battles. And I believe that little transition there means that we've actually made it to Route 128, which is fairly good because that's where I want to call things for the night, because we got some major plot things that will be going down fairly soon. So you want to remember this cave for the future. I'll be heading in there eventually. I'd say actually we could do things tomorrow. It's gonna go up here because I know this little spot there. There's this little dive spot here in the middle of this island. And with diving here, we can see there's an item. Protein. Too bad the bag is full. But I don't see much use for a burn heal right now. We got plenty of other status items, so let's get rid of that so we can grab the protein. So definitely want to put away our items now we got all this. Get that protein to... Oh! Armstrong can't level up anything else in his attack stat. That's interesting. Alright, let's give that to Beetlejuice. So yeah, eventually as your Pokemon gain stats by doing battles and earning effort values, eventually you'll just not be able to add any more effort values to their stats. So that's a good indication that Armstrong probably has maxed out his effort value total. Or if not, he's at least maxed out what he's able to gain just in his attack stat. And with that, I think we are about done for tonight. Yeah, we made some pretty good progress overall, showing pretty much everything we can get by using Dive. And made some pretty good progress making our way over here to Route 128, where we will be continuing our adventure. Next time on Pokémon Emerald, we will be continuing our pursuit of Team Aqua, and see what shall unfold in this legendary encounter. Until next time, have a good night and take care.